All right, it's almost 11:05, so I'm gonna get started. Like I was telling Brian and Brandon, we have this week is our headquarters training for all of our franchisees that are going to be opening soon. Brandon's going to be coming out here in April, so but we got that going on. So I have to jump out there and do some training with them at 11:30. So I have a hard stop at 11:30 today. Today I want to go over fleets, so I'm going to share my screen really quick and kind of go over what we do and how we position fleet accounts, to position our business to fleet accounts. Can everybody see the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if you go to the oilu.org and you go to templates, you can see right here, it says fleet templates. We have these pulled up and you can use these to sorry about that. You can use these to acquire fleet accounts. There's a couple of ways that we tackle fleets. For the franchisees that are going to be semi-absentee or absentee, this is something that you can do at night when you get home, or if you have a break in the day and you want to send out emails. But there's a couple different ways. So one is just cold calling or cold emailing businesses. So you go on Google, you type in, HVAC company, you type in construction company, whatever the case may be in your area. Brandon Camerzell has a bunch of ag and oil people, so him being able to take care of those vehicles and so on and so forth, or wherever you are, you're going to be able to find those businesses and those niche businesses as well that are dominant in your area. So for us up here, we have a lot of landscaping and snow removal because we're in the Northeast. During the summertime, having those landscape trucks come in and all those different HVAC companies and construction companies and paint companies and all of that. If you can land a decent sized fleet, I mean, that will pretty much take care of your month-to-month expenses, depending on the size. So we just took over a store in Chambersburg and they have a 50 truck fleet that we have. And it's all full synthetic. And those guys put on anywhere from 3,000 to 8,000 miles a month. So we see those customers, that fleet customer, every single month. All 50 of those trucks, we see them every month. So normally you have your oil change intervals, where are usually about 3 months or 90 days in between those 3,000 to 5,000 for the regular consumer. For fleets, because they drive so much, there's a chance that you can land a fleet that you see them every single month. It might be at the beginning of the month or the end of the month or the middle of the month, but you're pretty much guaranteed to have that fleet come back in with however many vehicles to be able to get their vehicle serviced. So one of the biggest things that we talk about after you're open is one is marketing, but the second one is getting fleets and retaining them. Fleet accounts are just like people shopping for insurance, right? So if you own a company, you're going to want to get the best deal that you possibly can for your vehicles, for your maintenance. So 1 month, say that we are charging, let's say for a regular oil change, we charge the $34.95. Well, if they go to Take 5, they'll do it for 30. Well, if you start seeing that fleet account start dropping off, we always have our retention. So we always call them, say, hey, we just wanted to check in with you, see how you've been. We noticed that you only brought in 10 of your vehicles instead of the 20 last month. Just wanted to know if there's anything that we can do to, assist you better. And then, they'll say, well, you guys give the same service, or you guys do this, but honestly, or you guys give a better service, but honestly, it's just about the price for me. Saving $5 on 50 trucks is $150 a month that I'm saving. I would be the one to say, okay, well, how about this? Come back and see us. We'll get you to that $30 price. And I don't mind losing the $5 because you're doing the volume. So there's different ways that you can make your money here. And one of them is being a discounted price, but you're doing the volume. We also have this template here that you can take. Our fleet accounts, we always do a net 30 basis. So say they come in on March 1st, they don't have to pay us until April 1st. Through the Square stand, you can send them an invoice directly to whatever accounts receivable email that they have, and they can pay it online right there from the email that they get from Square when they get their service done. Or we send them an invoice and they send us a check, and then there's a little bit more work on the backside, but you just deposit the check, you go into your Square account, you mark it as paid, and that's it. Fleets are super important though. Other than doing this, the cold emailing, one of the things that I require my managers to do is, if there's no cars in the bay, I want them visible and facing the road. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting them to face it every minute of the day, but if there's nothing that they're doing, or there's no vehicles in, or they're not doing inventory or something like that, I want them to be out there, kind of watching the road. Just a little kind of a story. We had Keith Claunch here 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and we were standing at the front of our Hanover store, and I noticed a painting company drove by, and I grabbed I got the number off of the van that drove by. And Mark, his operations manager, was with me, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, I want to show you something." So I called the number up, and I reached their office, and I said, "Hey, I just wanted to talk to somebody who takes care of the maintenance on your vehicles." And she said, "Oh yeah, that's Robert. Let me transfer you over." So I got transferred over to Robert, and I told him who I was, and I told him what we offered, and he brought his truck in there that afternoon to get an oil change, and now we have that account. We always offer a free oil change to whoever you talk to. So be it the owner, be it an operations manager, be it, whatever high level person that makes that decision, we will offer them a free service so they can experience it, and then take that information back to whoever they have to, and be able to make that decision. But that was an 18 van fleet that we got just from me looking at the number on the side of the van, calling them, talking to them, and then getting him in to do a service. I was able to get an 18 van fleet from that. So those are things that I'm going to want, my managers to look at, and I would advise you to have yourself or your managers do the same thing. Always write down the names of the companies, write down the phone numbers, and then, at night send out emails, or right there on the spot, give them a call. And see if we can get that fleet, because they're getting their maintenance done somewhere, right? I mean, if you have a huge fleet, you're not going to be out there on a Saturday and a Sunday just doing 25 oil changes on all your vehicles. They're going to want something that's quick, that's cost effective, and gets their guys back on the road so they can do service calls or get back to the job site or whatever the case may be. That was kind of long-winded, but that's one of the biggest points that I wanted to kind of get today. We've got about 15 minutes left, so I want to open it up for questions. Anybody have any questions on what we talked about today, or anything operations wise?
Hey, Brandon, it's Brian. Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought this up, because I've been thinking about this a lot. So, especially as I'm looking to launch here the next few months. Is there I got a few questions. So is there a list somewhere of like I don't know if we track, it'd be good just to understand, hey, maybe places we may not traditionally think of as having fleets, but I don't know if something like that exists today. If we don't, maybe that's something we could share. Just say, look for HVAC, lawn care, landscape, whatever those are, electricians, etc. But if there was a list available, that'd be good to understand, because then I could just do like a search right in my area of all those. I want to start gathering that now, and I'm in sales now, so I don't have an issue, right? To me, that's like table stakes. So
Right.
I can make those calls. But is there a list like that exists, or what's maybe the best way to kind of just research that?
Yeah, so I don't have a list written out. That's a good idea though. That's something that we can make in the future. Like, this is, let's say this is kind of the top tier of what you're looking for, and then maybe this would be like second tier opportunities for you. But yeah, like you can get creative. Like, I know that we've partnered with, let's say used car dealerships. And that's not something that somebody would normally think of. But if they get a used car in and they have to they obviously have to do the maintenance on it. If they bring that car to us and we have a fleet account with this used car dealership, they could bring the car in 10 minutes in and out. They take it back to the dealership, they detail it, they can have it on the lot for sale that day. Right. So most of the used car dealerships, like small mom and pop shops, they don't normally have a full mechanic service side like a Ford dealership does, or any of those big guys. Most of the times they either have like one mechanic on duty and they do all of that work for themselves. So being able to proposition them can save a bunch of time for their dealership. So that's just something that people don't normally think of.
Yeah, that's another good one. Good idea. And then
Yeah.
is there, yeah, that's cool. Maybe we could just start, I think, a Google Doc or something. I think it'd be good to share. But I'll be thinking of that. Have we ever done anything like and again, to your point, I don't know, on a month to month, they're probably just always looking for the cheapest or whatever, but have we ever done anything like an agreement where we'll like guarantee it for a certain amount of time or anything like that? Barter, whatever it is. Is there anything like, I don't want to say contractually, but like, right, a way to lock them in so this way you can kind of forecast a little bit?
No, the reason that we don't is because nobody else does. And it would be a disadvantage for us to get into an agreement like that.
Okay.
If they end up doing, now there are different agreements that they do get into, like, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the Emerald Club, where it's a fleet service program where they can get into it. And then if they're a part of the Emerald Club, we get listed as one of the the approved vendors for a fleet, and they can come to us and we can take their card payment. But we can talk. We currently right now aren't in that program, like franchisee wide. But that is something that you can get into. We could talk about that one-on-one offline if that's an opportunity that you want to take advantage of. But no, we don't have any physical contractual agreements saying that, for 12 months, we are contractually obligated to make sure that you come to us for that period of time. Usually what I do, and this is what's worked best for me, is that say you get well, there's two criterias for me, and this is what's worked best for me. Okay. Say a company comes in and they have 10 vans. Well, then that 10 vans, let's say that we have this price. So if you're, our normal full synthetic oil change price at the corporate level is $79.95. So those 10 vans will say, okay, hey, if you become a fleet with us, we'll keep you, we'll put you at the $64.95. Plus all the top offs are free. We'll have you in and out 10 minutes, no taxes, and net 30. So that's in the beginning. Now, if I see that this fleet has stayed on for 6 months, then I'll reach out to them and say, hey, just wanted to let you know, since you've been a loyal fleet customer of ours, I just want to let you know that your new price for us is going to be $59.95. We're taking an extra $5 off for you per vehicle, so on and so forth. If you do that periodically for that customer and they don't have to go to you and ask for a price discount, you're going to create that relationship with them, and be able to maintain that relationship a lot longer than if you wait for them to come to you, or you notice a change in the frequency and then you have to reach out to them. It's always the perception of progress, right? So you do the same thing with hiring people. I'll hire somebody on at $13.50 an hour. They're with me for 90 days. They do a good job. I bring them up to $14 an hour. If I get a fleet on and I start them at the $64.95 and they stay with me for a while, I'll get them down to 60, and then I'll get them down to 55. But I'll usually cap a full synthetic out around $50. Because for us, our cost of goods is $16 on that. That's what it costs us to do that oil change. But you can also get, more, like say, hey, just wanted to let you know, some of your vehicles, when they come in, I can hear a lifter tick. They're getting up there in high mileage. We sell a Lucas product that is a oil stabilizer that sells for $24.95. I'm gonna sell these to you for $16.99. And are you interested in putting them in all your vehicles? Well, now you just got a $55 oil change, and then now you added another $16.99 to it, so you're almost back up to a full synthetic price anyway. And it only cost us, I think, $4 a bottle for the Lucas.
Yeah.
So those are just little things that you can do. I know that was a super long-winded way of explaining that, but that's kind of how my mind worked with fleets. Is I want to have that perception of progress with them. I want to make sure that they feel like they're getting a great deal. I mean, at the end of the day, they are, but I want them to be like, wow, they're being proactive about this relationship. And I think that's probably one of the most important things that you could do with fleets.
Hey, Brandon,
Hey, Brandon.
quick question. What have you guys ever gotten any fleets where they do have like a shop and a, quote, shop mechanic? And they, that struggle of, oh, we'll just do our own kind of thing, where, because around here, a lot like oil and gas companies, they all have a shop and they all have a, quote, mechanic that works for them. But a lot of their drivers don't want to mess with having to wait and have no vehicle. Is there any success that you guys have had with getting fleets where they do actually have their own shop on like?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the biggest fleets right now that we've dealt with, and this is actually within the last couple of weeks. So the Chambersburg store we just took over, we actually service all the sheriff's vehicles for the county. So if anybody knows anything about sheriffs and county municipalities, they have their own garage that takes care of their DOT trucks, that takes care of their county vehicles, their inspectors, their sheriff's departments. Well, one of the things that we did was we talked to the sheriff's department and said, hey, look, I know that you guys have your own mechanics and vehicles, but would it be better for you to drop off a vehicle so your in-house mechanic can do an oil change that's going to take him 30 minutes? So that deputy has to sit there and wait and he can't be on the road. Or would you rather come by when he's not, when he's not on a call? Let's do his oil change, have him in and out in 10 minutes. And then your mechanic at your shop can focus on the big things like doing the brakes, the tire rotations, the ball joints, the tie rod ends, and making sure those vehicles are being maintained. And we were able to get the entire sheriff's department for Franklin County in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So that's one of the big things that you can do. Is that's one of the biggest things for fleets, is you can proposition it to them where we take as little, we try to make as little impact on their day as possible. We want to have them in and out as quickly as we can.
Got it.
Hey, Brandon, another one to consider is rental car companies. You rent loan cars. I've already got contact with them. So I'm thinking about getting them in. They currently use Jimmy Lube, but they're willing to switch over as soon as we get over here in Wichita. So that's something that a lot of people don't think about. They do have their own garage, but they prefer that it's in and out. It's, you said, it's garages for dents and dings and windshield replacements and things like that. So another option there.
Yeah, hey Brant, I heard bits and pieces of that. It sounded a little muffled like a robot. I heard that they use Jiffy Lube right now, but being able to proposition the in and out is good. So what was the beginning of that?
Yeah, it's like the car company, rental companies like the Budget and the Hertz.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I've got a verbal with the local Budget here in town. As soon as we get one open, he wants to switch over to us. They currently use Jiffy Lube, but like you said, they have their own in-house, but they don't want to bring one in for an oil change, but it's really a 10-minute job.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. So Budget, Avis, all those people. Now, I will say that like companies like Enterprise has their own loyalty program, and Enterprise has a fleet account program that we're currently not signed up for. And the only reason that we're not is because they are not accepting any new vendors. So, but yes, that is great. Budget, Avis, all those companies, being able to get all of those as well is very smart. So, all right, well, I'm going to end it here today, guys. We'll pick back up next Monday at 3:30 p.m. Hopefully I will be in Denver with Brandon Camerzell, but we will see how that plays out. Brandon, I'll let you know 100% by the end of probably by Wednesday if that's where I'm going to be on Monday is with you.
Oh, don't lump me in with Denver. I take that offensively.
Okay, I'm flying into Denver. So
Yeah.
that's like just the destination. I'm sorry, I'll be in Eden, Colorado. So, but anyway, I will if you guys have any questions, please let us know. If you want to reach out to us on Slack, that's the best ways to get to us. And then feel free to reach out with any questions that you might have. I hope you guys have a good day and a good rest of your week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.